Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick here on Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Christin, and I'm here with a very beautiful and special guest today, Miss Debbie Vick. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look very good today.
Thank you.
You're coming in all of your great spring fashions.
Yes.
And everyone loves a red lip. You can never go wrong with a red lip, okay? Especially on the brown skin. Up against my brown skin. Yes. So I don't know what's been up with everything I'm doing lately. I'm booked and busy, you're booked and busy, but everybody I've been booked and busy with has been some men with some testosterone, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to have a beautiful feminine energy with me today. So kind of offset all that damn testosterone, okay? Thank you for bringing me all your beautiful Empress energy today. So, what's been going on with you?
Oh man, it's been busy. But I'm just trying to handle it all. I think being a mom, entrepreneur, trying to also work at a college, it's been a lot, but I think as you walk in purpose, it all's worth it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm someone, y'all know that I do a lot of different things, I wear a lot of different hats, and Debbie's someone who's the same. So I wanted to bring someone on the show today so we can continue to show entrepreneurs, Black excellence, moms that look good, and also the little girls. We're both fun size, we're both petite, and we love you thick girls. We love you thick hoes. But can the skinny hoes shine sometimes too? You know what I'm saying? Now we got the double mint twin action coming today, right?
That's it. That's all.
Y'all welcome.
Now bring me my money.
Yeah, run me my money. Okay, hit the cash app. We're accepting gifts today. Send me a tip.
That's my love language. That's it.
Okay, so I know that you're a serial entrepreneur. Okay,
Yeah.
Tell the people a little bit about like some of your businesses and what you have going on.
Okay, so entrepreneur, real estate, number one, commercial residential. I got about 4 commercial deals right now. I would love to help anybody though. Well,
Well, hey, let's get a pre-approval letter first. Don't come to the realtor before you went to the bank. I'ma say it because she's a realtor. I work in real estate as well. I don't talk about my real estate because they didn't pay me to talk about it on here. They know my email if they want me to talk about them. But I do work in real estate, so I'm gonna say what the realtors don't want to say. Don't be asking for no showings when you don't have a pre-approval from the bank. Okay?
no, I do have a lender that can get your pre-approval the same day. So we do that.
Call the lender first, and then
Yeah. But then also I have a liquor store, Bottoms Up Liquor Store. Okay.
bottoms up, bottoms up.
Yeah. Come do some samples, tastings, Black owned. And then there's a lot of just Black owned products and services that we want to also make sure that we highlight. And then I do a little bit of everything. I've bartended for 20 years now at this point. So people call me just to do random things and I love it.
Yes.
So everything is all fun. Chateau Nola in New Orleans, come visit.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
I love that. And it's crazy how you can have 2 different businesses that are very successful that kind of have nothing to do with each other. No, okay. Commercial real estate's a big deal. Okay, people that don't know commercial, it's hard. There's rules. You got to work for 62 days on a deal before you even think about getting a check. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So you have this very professional, lots of rules, and then you come over to the liquor side and it's fun. It's like, I could sell a house, then as a closing gift, I can give them liquor from my store.
I just did that yesterday, but it was for residential. She said, I need a bottle of tequila after this deal. And I said, I got you, boo.
Yes.
But honestly, it was just someone who wanted to open up a store. And then I decided that I would partner with them because I just love helping people. And so if you want to open up a liquor store or a salon and I can become a part owner and help you to fund your project, why not?
Yes. So when an opportunity presented itself that you saw, not only to help yourself, but help someone else, you got to work together and be able to use your expertise with that desire and come in and birth a liquor store.
A liquor store. And now we put one on the south side.
Oh.
So north side and south side. But no, I think the biggest thing about all of this is how you can just walk in purpose. As long as I'm helping somebody, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
Once I stop helping people, once it stop being fun, I don't want it.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
You should be having fun with everything that you do. Positive vibes.
I see.
If you wake up every day like Eeyore, remember from Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore, guess it's going to be a bad day today. Then you're probably going to have a fucking bad day, It's just like you have to have a positive perspective. And I literally say all the time, I don't have any drama in my life. Nothing bad happens to me. Everything goes my way. If something happens to me that I don't desire, I'm like, okay, this is just teaching me something. Like I didn't know that I didn't want to date a crackhead until I dated a crackhead. And thank God now I know. Thank you, crackhead, for letting me know that I didn't want to date crackheads.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes, because I didn't know before. He was lit, but he was also on crack. So I'm happy to know that. So if you don't experience things, then how do you know you don't want them? You can have a positive perspective.
I don't have to try crack to know I don't want it.
No, I didn't know that I didn't want to date. I didn't know that people were still smoking crack in the 2020s. I didn't know that. So,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't. Girl, I ain't never seen crack before. I've been in the suburb. I grew up in Orange County, California. I saw the gang members and they was out there, doing their little thing with their feet and stuff.
Their hands like that.
Because their
hands was like
yeah, they was out in the streets and everything,
That's a new one. Y'all, please, somebody.
Hey, if you grew up in LA in the 90s, you seen them out there. You seen them.
Who? Please, who?
It was the Cholos and the Batos, it was the Serenos, the MAs, they had the Bloods, the Crips. It was the 90s, it was real shit.
Yeah.
These gang members now, they ain't doing shit. Gang members right now, y'all fake, fraud, and phony. In the 90s, that was some shit. And they would have their little all the way buttoned up to here. They had all the way buttoned up to here with their Cholos on, and then you just see them going up and down there. They dancing, doing their little thing.
I'm actually from Ohio, and we used to do some of the dances. But it was just cool.
Now Debbie be dancing. Shorty told me Debbie be dancing. Debbie pop lock and drop it. She has a very strong robot. Okay. If there's a twerk contest, little booties matter. Okay. Yeah. So don't let her downplay it. I know
It's just a background dance, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm letting the people know.
So it's fun.
Tell them who you background dance for.
Oh, some of those people can't be named anymore because they're in court. But the other people, so I did background dance for Fat Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I
like Fat Joe.
Cumbia, reggaeton, salsa, merengue,
Yeah, bachata. Yeah, I love it. I love me some Spanish culture.
Yeah.
I do. I love to bachata dance. I love aventura. I love all that. I actually speak Spanish. And the way I learned to speak Spanish was listening to Spanish music and watching novellas. So I love that. And I do love Fat Joe. And I'm so happy that he's not so fat anymore because he can be healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I remember, y'all want to be like Pun, Bust thinker, and it's so hard. Donnell Jones had done that.
Okay. You did the vibrato.
It's so hard. Girl, don't look, when I record my album, niggas gonna be sleeping because they should have got the demos for free.
Oh, so I'm gonna be the rapper then, because I always said in a past life, I'm sure I was a rapper.
You know what? And also I need you to do my ad libs too.
Oh yeah.
I need you to do my ad libs too.
Oh, I'm better than Migos.
Oh, I know. I can tell it.
Oh,
I can see it. I can feel that energy.
Listen.
And everyone's gonna want to hire you after that. You will put Debbie already has 17 businesses. Now we're gonna do an 18th.
I just started doing birthdays and weddings as well as an MC.
Oh, wow.
I commentate already. So I was like, what if I just go to the party and then be the person that's giving the dialogue?
Yes.
Why not?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I actually, realtors are hiring me now to do their broker open houses, to come and MC their open houses, keep it lit, And it started actually with someone who works for me on my real estate, job that I don't discuss. But she hired me, gave me $200. Young girl, said, I know you're going to make it lit. And then from there, it became a domino effect, right? So when people sometimes see what it is that you do, you don't know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought a little young girl in her 20s was going to see the value in me. And knowing that I'm her homegirl and I do it for free, that's why I don't work for free. I've been telling people, stop working for free. Because if you keep working for free, then no one's going to ever pay you.
That's it.
And that's a lesson I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing that you're able to take something you already do and kind of put it, and then you can have a good time at the party.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
And everything should be on purpose. So I don't do anything that's like, oh, I'm just randomly here. No, it's on purpose, whether it's my health, my mental health, whether it's my feeding my soul, whether it's just being around good spirited people. Like I just want positive vibes. So like you did your manifestations, I believe light follows me. Love comes to me. Money flows to me and not away from me. And guess what? I am everything.
I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want, done, baby. I'm sorry, I get excited. You know, I be giving right. Do. No. The no, I love Whitney Houston. I think I am her. Like literally, when my dad calls me Whitney Houston or Diana Ross, I know that he really is being sweet to me because he knows those are my two favorite pet names.
Oh, wow.
You know, if a man really loves me, call me Diana. You know, don't call me boo or baby, call me Diana.
Oh,
Call me Whitney. You know, I love that. So I'm always gonna try to sing like Whitney. In my mind, I sound like her. But yes, being every woman, being able to walk in your divine purpose, being able to affirm. That's one thing that like even some of my people, my family, they would go to the church and they would be like, "Oh, bless old sinner like me. I'm just over here so humble and meek and all this," and they can do that, but I'm not into that shit. I'm into this is my birthright. I'm commanding it from my creator to put it into my reality now because I deserve it. I'm not going to beg or chase or act like I don't get it. I'm lit, I'm rich, I'm delicious, and I deserve all of it.
yeah.
You know? And there's so many people that have subscribed to a different way of thinking because this is what they were brought up in, especially in Black culture. That's cool. I'm not going to try to change you.
Right.
But also, like, don't be trying to get me to be down there shucking and driving with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't speak Jim Crow. I don't speak less than, you know, I'm not missing out on any opportunities in life because I'm a Black person. None of that.
Yeah.
None of that, you
So,
know.
You know, I had an interesting conversation with someone recently about tapping into my divine feminine. And I was like, that is so interesting because society has kind of made us hard, right? Where we feel like we have to kind of do everything. And tapping into your divine feminine, I was like, well, tell me more.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know what exactly does that mean? And it was like feeling like you command the space where people want to do things for you and that you don't have to do it for yourself. And I was like, well, tell me more.
Well, that's what I teach that. Like a lot of people come to me, I teach them about, you know, balancing your feminine and masculine energy, you know, even teaching men that, you know, they also have feminine energy as well. And that is something that can be shared with their partner. You know what I mean? Not necessarily for the streets, and understanding that like we are mother earth, you know. One thing you have to realize, like a woman's menstrual cycle, it goes every 28 days. You know what else is every 28 days? The moon cycle. That's not by coincidence. And the moon has a new one every 28 days because every single planet needs the moon. Same thing like a woman. We are nurturers, we are healers, and the whole world needs us, you know, tapping into that energy of knowing that nothing can ever really go wrong. Always staying in our Empress and Queen energy, not going down to the bottom with the sea urchins, you know? And it's something that we can learn after we've been in a situation of being in survival mode and feel like we had to have that masculine energy take over. Everyone goes through it in life, but it's about learning, taking it as a lesson, and kind of resetting.
That's it.
Yes.
All
So
about the reset.
all about the reset. We getting all deep up in her, you know what I'm saying? We're going to take a little bit of a breather, you know, and we're going to take a break so that we can go to commercial for our sponsors to let us know what's going on. And then after we get back, we're going to dive into some more issues. We're going to have a little bit more fun and explain a little bit more about Miss Debbie Vick here on Afrovibes TV. Welcome back to Sit Down Heaux. Let me talk to you real quick here on Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Christin, and I'm still here with my girlfriend, Debbie Vick.
Hey, y'all.
So before the break, we're on our positivity. I laugh, I talk trash, I make jokes, but really and truly, my whole purpose in life is about positivity, happiness, you know. I know that God gave me a very specific gift to help people to heal from past trauma and open up spiritually so that they can live the life that they deserve. And one of the biggest things is about, we came to this earth, right, innocent, happy, no fear, right?
Right.
Then what happens? Life, people hurt us, betray us, lie to us. Then we start to create ideas and feelings that are not from our highest self. You know, we all go through it, but we all are given an opportunity in life to recognize those things and to face our shadow self and say, you know what, there are things about myself that I don't like, that I want to change so that I can heal and not be a victim and not move in a space of trauma, right? But to have that Michael Jackson man in the mirror moment can be very difficult for a lot of people, right?
Right.
I had to do it with myself, and it was hard. and I started looking at people, and I look at someone and say, well, why is it that X, Y, and Z about this person bothers me? Because I was really dealing with that issue within myself. That's really, anytime that you look at any person and that person has upset you or you're unhappy about them, it's only because you're seeing something in that person that you're not right with yourself, you know? And it's very difficult for people a lot of times to own that, right? It's like, in the end of the day, it's like, I'm mad because this person called me a bitch. That's a life from hell. Can't happen. No one else can make you feel anything. You make a choice to let that person's actions take control of you, right? Because probably in your mind, you're saying some crazy shit to people. You're talking to people with disrespect. You're not always using your words to speak, positivity into people. So when someone else does it to you, then you react to it. I don't care. A white man can walk up to me right now and call me a nigger or a bitch, and I wouldn't care, The way you feel has nothing to do with me. You don't have that power over me. And also, too, I don't have that responsibility on you for you to say that your actions are going to define the way that I feel. So that's going into that divine feminine that we were talking about before. So I love the fact that, I can use I'm a funny nigga. I'm a laugh, but also I want to spit that real situation out there that I feel like even as far as Black people haven't always had an opportunity to get that information because it was faux pas, it was bad, or it was something outside of Jesus Christ, is how they try to play it.
See, one thing that I think about is, yes, I don't think anyone can affect your emotions unless you allow it. But I also believe that your discerning spirit will tell you whether or not someone that you want to continue to have interactions with in the future. So if someone gives me weird or bad vibes, I'm like, you know what? This was great. However, that's it.
Yep.
And I believe that is also a discerning action as well, just to be like, I tapped into myself to know what feels good and what spaces feel good for me, and where do I feel like I am my most authentic self. And I only want to live in spaces and places where I feel like I can be my own authentic self. Sometimes reserved, sometimes loud, sometimes dancing all over the place. Everyone's like, come to the party because I know you'll have fun. Yeah, I'll have fun. But sometimes I just want to chill.
Yes. But life is fun and full of variety. You're not always going to be the same version of yourself. And like you said, like the only thing that we can control in this life is what we say, what we feel, and what we do, right? That's the only thing we can control. So it's like, I tell people all the time, like saying how if you use that spirit of discernment, look, you're free to be whoever you want to be somewhere outside of my experience. I am the creator of my own reality, and I choose not to co-create with you. You don't need to change whatever opinion you have of me. I'm not going to try to change it. And I don't think that you're wrong. I just don't want to participate. And people have had a problem with that. Me, I'm a hot girl. I'm unmarried. I'm saying? These boys be out here. They always coming at me trying to date me. And I will simply say to them, the level of love you have to offer is not something that I'm interested in. And they just don't get that. Like I just don't want it. I have no expectations of anyone else. I only have desires for myself.
That's it.
And I don't expect you to be the nigga that I need you to be or that I want you to be. I just desire to be with someone that's going to give me what I want in a harmonious way.
That part.
And within life, whether it's business, friends, family, anybody, I'm going to harmonize. And I don't care, my mama, my daddy, whoever you are, if you are not valuing me, if you are not treating me the way I deserve to be treated, I'm not going to co-create with you. A bloodline is not going to change that. Making money together, not going to change that. A 30-year friendship, not going to change that. And when you tap into, I'm making every decision based off of love for myself, the world changes.
Man, that's good. I think one thing that I've learned a lot about it just in just life in general in these 40-something years of living.
No, stop it. You're 28.
28. I like that.
We're 28.
Okay. 28 in spirit, but not in wisdom. Wisdom, I'm definitely my age. But no, I really think that one thing that I've learned is that I really have to do more boundary setting. I'm really good at saying, this is my line. And then someone says, I need help. And I go, okay, what do you need? I got you. And so just doing more boundary setting. And someone told me recently that what I do is when someone has a challenge or a problem, I am the problem solver. It's like I have a toolkit, invisible toolkit on my back. And whenever someone says that they have a problem, I pull it off my back. I just planned someone's 60th birthday party today on my way here. I was on the phone. That's also a reason why I was running behind. Why? because she could not figure out a caterer, how to get her alcohol. Bottoms up, hello.
Bottoms up, bottoms up. Hey.
Yeah, and then, but it was just like she didn't have. It was just so much that needed to be done. And what do? Invisible toolkit, activate. Did a spreadsheet for her and created a budget based on what I felt like it should be, and then also connected her with 3 different groups of people that would help her, vendors. And I said, that was a lot. But in my visible toolkit, that's what I was supposed to do. If someone has a problem, I just fix it rather than giving them the tools that they need to be able to fix it themselves. So now moving forward, I'm working more on identifying when that happens so I can do it different, you know?
Yeah, but the biggest thing in all of that, that's the hardest part, is recognizing what you want to see change. And like I've had to tell myself a lot of times, I am not Captain Save a Hoe. I cannot fix everybody. I can give people information and lead them to it. But same thing, you have to set your boundaries, because people will wear you out. Like sometimes even people asking me for different opportunities, I'll tell them, I'm so happy that you considered me, but right now I just don't have the time, space, and energy to fulfill this, but please let me know in the future. And it was so hard for me.
Yeah.
But one thing that I preach to other people, I teach, like spirituality. I don't really even know how to put a name on it. People come to me and I teach them the universal laws and how to like manifest and how to make every decision based off of love for yourself, so that you can just live as the person that God created you to be. And the one thing I say every day, probably, I say this 45 times a day: you cannot drink from an empty cup.
That's right.
You have to have your cup filled before you can let other people sip out of it, So recognizing that you need to set boundaries. Yes, you want to help people. Yes, you're there for people, but sometimes we get into this energy of, we're feeling good because, we're getting validation from, helping other people, because that's what society has made us believe. If you're not generous, you don't help people, then you're a bad person, or, you're not using everything that God gave you. But in the process, should we be depleted? Should we be going off of 4 hours of sleep and having to like be on the phone, driving, trying to eat a hamburger and make it to the next appointment? God didn't want us to live like that.
He took so many naps. I mean, if anyone knows, read the Bible, Jesus was napping all the time.
Yes.
He was like, I gotta go rest now.
Because when you sleep, your body heals. You know what I'm saying? When you sleep, your body heals. So it's very,
and it's metaphoric as well. So it's not just the physical sleep. It's also taking time for yourself and doing something, either meditating, praying, going to the spa.
Yes.
Like that is self-care.
No, it is. All things, it is. Right? Yeah. Everything you want the world to do to you, you do to yourself. The main thing people always want to manifest is money, obviously, right? And me being like a master manifester, my life path number is 11. It's what God made it easy for me to manifest things and made me a master manifester so I could teach others so they would get their asses in line and be able to manifest as well, right? So whenever I'm trying, to make people want to manifest money, I say, if you go in your bathtub and soak with some Epsom salts, playing your favorite music, smoking a blunt, thinking about spending your money, you're going to manifest more money that way than doing research, then working a second job. Then, money always flows and comes to me, because I think it, I believe it, and I just know it. It's my birthright and what I know is going to happen. All my financial obligations are met. That's one of my favorite affirmations, So it's like, the more you invest in yourself, and I even tell that even to my manager, the brother minister, I'm trying to teach him these things. And in the few couple of weeks, he's seen so many differences. And just when you affirm things and say things differently, and I say, everything you want the world to do to you, you do to yourself. You invest, get your nails done, and then you're going to get a new contract,
Yeah. One thing that I always suggest is to change your passwords on your phone, on your email, and have it something that manifests whatever it is that you're working towards.
My login on my work computer is other stuff, but I am lit. With some other characters. Yeah, that's my password. And it reminds me every day. I'm logging around like I'm lit, bitch. It works every day.
Yeah. My gotta do it, money, honey.
Yes.
That's all that comes to me. And so when we're thinking about those things, I'm always like, okay, what are some of the things that I could be doing differently and better? And so for business consulting, another one of my businesses, I started doing that. I said, I'm helping people to build these businesses, but then I create codependency, and it should be interdependence, not codependence. So now here I am changing the whole format of everything, saying, hey, I'm going to help you to run a successful business. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have to be there every day for the business to be ran properly.
Yeah.
So, I'm learning so much about just how you can do good things, but also how you can also tweak it.
Exactly.
Yeah, even with our lives, right?
We have to grow. I mean, everything's a new experience, in life. And as we have new experience, we get older, we do more things, always going to be an opportunity. Once you achieve one goal, you're going to have another goal you're going to want to achieve, right? And if you're not growing, then you're dead, right? So it's all good stuff. I'm so happy that I had an opportunity to sit down and have these conversations with you. You brought so much value, light, and positivity, some very great topics that we really need to talk about. We was also able to kiki and do our little dance too. But shout out your social media as we wrap up this episode. Let the people know they can find you on social media in case they want to tap in, work with you, or just know what the bottoms up is at, so they can come and get a bottle of drink.
That's it. Okay, Bottoms Up HTX is Instagram for Bottoms Up. Lil Debbie, LILDEBBI 1908 is for me. But you could also pull me up, Deborah Vick, or
you can
Lil
Google
Debbie.
her.
Google me. Phone number and everything. Call me.
Yes, indeed. Well, I hope that you continue to enjoy these summer months here in H-Town. It's warming up, sundresses, no draws, all that. You can maybe catch me out like that in these H-Town streets. And we'll definitely have to do this again sometime. Okay?
Yes.
We had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Until the next time here on Sit Down Heaux, let me talk to you real quick. I'm your host, Christin, with my girl, Debbie, and I'm signing off.
Bye, y'all.